John, when people leave their webcam on and they just kind of go walking around the house, it's very voyeuristic. I caught about 20 seconds of Shaun in the kitchen looking around and his webcam was on.
The funny thing about this apartment, John, is that there are no curtains in the living room.
Mm.
And I'm someone who likes to walk around naked.
I was waiting for that. I was like, oh shit, he has the webcam on. He's in the kitchen. Like, is he is this how he lives? Does he
Where'd you go? Why does this always happen?
Oh, I'm back.
Tess, please cut this out. Please make this an intro that makes sense.
Shaun has landed.
Yo, you just fully disappeared. Were you
Am I
just
back?
talking the whole time?
No.
Yeah.
Am I back? Should we start over?
Well, no, I just want Tess to, like, make this cut it up so that it makes sense.
All right. Shaun has landed.
Yeah.
How do you feel? You're officially a Los Angeles resident. Day what? 2? Is this day 2?
Day 2. Well, day 3. So how long do you have to live here to become an Angelino?
Oh, I would say 10 years. I would say a decade. It takes 10 years.
So until then, what am I?
A poser? I don't know what you are, man. You're a visitor.
Am I a transplant?
Why would you want to be an Angelino?
No, I'm just curious. What's wrong with being an Angelino?
Because you're going to feel like the kid that got held back. I'm an Angelino. I know nothing but Los Angeles. And whenever I meet people who come here, they've had rich, full lives and have traveled everywhere. And I feel like the kid that got held back, stuck in LA,
I mean, why? Because, like, if you're an Angelino, that doesn't mean that you have to have been stuck in LA.
It's just a feeling, man. It's just a feeling of Los Angeles. It's very different than, like, New York or other places where, and I don't know if San Francisco's like this, but in LA, if you grew up here, because very few have, there's an emptiness. There's like an emptiness, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but
okay.
Yeah, I've been here forever.
Well, 3 days, John. 3 days.
Yeah.
So I just want to say moving is very stressful.
Yes, for sure.
There's a lot of uncertainty. There's fear. It's sad. It's scary. It's expensive.
Yeah.
I'm
also doing it alone. You're doing it by yourself.
Doing it alone again. Late night Target runs.
Right.
Alone. No one to help. Do I buy this dish towel or this dish towel? Like, what goes well with the decor? Roger is blind. He can't help.
Roger's his dog.
Yeah. So it's hard. It's hard. But I just woke up from a nap. I'm feeling pretty good. I went to the dog park.
That's why you said 3:30, please, instead of 3. I had a feeling you were napping, or that was scheduled. It was on the calendar, a nap.
Yeah, nap is on the calendar from 2 to. It's blocked off from 2 to 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm kind of excited. Yeah, a little scared, excited, nervous, tired. All the feelings.
It feels good to have you in my time zone.
Yeah. Well, literally, almost. Yeah, definitely more. I was gonna say the same zip code, but not quite.
You're about 20 minutes, 25 minutes away. Yeah, you're
almost
really
30.
close. Almost 30. Yeah, but Los Angeles is spread out. If you were on the west side, you'd be an hour. I mean, if you were on the west side, there'd be no difference between you in Canada or you in LA.
That's no one. I mean,
we would never see each other, except online.
We're gonna meet at Pharaoh's, dude. We're gonna meet at the gym.
Yeah, I love it.
John, I need your help.
Yes.
Okay. Today's day 1 of no nicotine.
Oh.
And I need some accountability.
What triggers the wanting to use nicotine? Nicotine. Sorry, English is my second language.
I like nicotine.
Nicotine. Does something activate it? Is it when you're feeling fidgety, bored, lonely? What actually activates it?
I think just stress.
Yeah.
Lonely, tired. Like when I have a lot to do. Like when things are logistically complicated. Long road trips.
Mm-hmm. How are you using it? Are you is it smoking? What are you doing? How are you getting nicotine?
Oh, like Zyn or gum or just
Oh,
all sorts
okay.
of different
Yeah, yeah,
anything
yeah,
really,
yeah.
but not cigarettes and trying not to vape either because that feels really bad. So this is day one. I need some accountability. I just need to like tell on myself, basically.
Yeah, I like that you've decided that this is not for you anymore. Also matches kind of the temperature of Los Angeles, where wellness is everyone's working out, everyone's trying to drink their smoothies and juices and stuff. So
Yeah, but
um,
where I live, LA's so big.
yeah, yeah.
No one on my block is doing
No,
CrossFit and drinking juices.
no,
They're
they're eating fried
eating
chicken and dodging bullets.
and tacos and
Right, right.
um but yeah, I see what you're saying. Like it's a good time to like, transition to a
Yes.
healthier lifestyle. But also in Montreal, I wasn't using nicotine. It's when I went to Europe and then
Mm,
when I'm traveling or when there's a party, and
yeah.
then as soon as I have some, then I just want more and more and more.
Is nicotine for you a gateway to something more,
And
or
more
are you?
nicotine.
Oh, okay. It's not.
That's
It's not.
it.
It's not to something else.
No, that's it. But
Okay.
what it does do is I don't work out when I use it. I
Mm,
kind of feel like a loser. All I want to do is like drink coffee and use nicotine. It's really useless. It's like a totally useless drug for me.
yes. Sounds like sounds like Europe for
But
some reason.
what, Europe is a useless drug for?
No, like just like I feel like in Europe, people smoke a lot still, and maybe they do in Asia as well. And they have coffee and cigarettes all day and
It's a very leisurely
leisurely. Yeah,
experience.
yeah, yeah.
But I think what I get from it is that it takes me out of my emotions.
Right.
It prevents me from having to feel all the stuff that
Mm,
I'm feeling right now, which
mm.
is, the sadness and the uncertainty and the fear and all that stuff.
Um, so for anyone who's listening to this, what would you recommend? Because it's really the nicotine is just it's just a vehicle, or one way to not feel or to numb. This is actually common. It's not nicotine for everyone, but you could exchange that for drugs, alcohol, porn,
Scrolling.
scrolling. Oh, for sure, sex. Uh, anything that gets you to not sit with self and feelings. I think, right?
Yeah.
Any
What's your
distraction.
what's your suggestion for me, John? I need like a therapist.
Well, I think to be aware. That's why I was asking you what your triggers, what activates you. So to be aware of, when I feel lonely or when I feel afraid or when I feel whatever, I notice I want to stick this thing in my mouth, and I think understanding that, realizing that, and then when it happens, to have something different. So okay, I'm gonna go for a walk. I'm gonna go walk my dog. I'm gonna
Call
go to the
somebody.
gym, call somebody. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I know all this stuff. This
yeah.
has
It's
been
not sexy, right?
but it's also this has been like a lifelong battle. But I go through phases where I'm just like in Montreal, I didn't use it for 6 months, and I felt
Hmm.
great, felt great, felt great. So I know that it's a battle. I'm curious if there's a point where just like I stop fighting this thing, and I
What?
just sort of
Right? You mean, yeah, fighting it and then being hard on yourself can actually make it harder to stop
yeah.
or more damaging, right? What made you stop the first time, and how was it?
I mean, I've stopped so many times.
Oh, it's ongoing. It's an
Yeah,
ongoing
yeah, I've
thing.
stopped, and it's usually because I want to feel better in my body,
Mm,
and I totally
mhm.
do. And then after a while, I'm like, oh wow, I totally didn't need that in my life.
What's the
It,
longest you've gone without it?
4 years.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, we know that's possible. We also know that because you're in a huge life transition, because you just moved to a brand new city, um, I mean, there's so much happening for you right now as far as things up in the air, that it's okay and understandable that you pick
yeah,
this back up again. You know what I'm
sure,
saying?
of course, of
Yeah.
course.
So I
But
think giving yourself some grace, but
yeah,
also knowing, okay, I'm here. It's going to be the new year soon. I've got some goals. I want to do some things, and I'm gonna, yeah, I'm gonna stop.
yeah. Have a couple coffees, drink a lot of water,
Yeah,
exercise,
yeah.
hang out with friends.
What? Let me ask you this: as far as addiction goes, what are your like 5 addictions?
I mean, other than drugs and
Yeah,
alcohol,
yeah. Drugs. So drugs, alcohol, uh, nicotine. Right? Can be what is that? Is it substance stuff?
coffee,
Coffee. Okay.
and then like, is the internet? Does the internet count?
Yeah, I guess it can be for sure. I mean,
I
social
think it's
media for
probably
sure.
that more, social media probably more than like sex.
Oh, really? I would have
Mhm.
guessed that sex would have been up pretty high, knowing you, but I guess not.
Knowing me, what does that mean, John?
Because we talk about it so much. Because and not only that, but you're
Do
always
we?
we do, man. I mean, you okay? Listen, not only do we talk about it, but you have a lot of sex stories. You have a lot of
Yeah,
adventures.
previously, but I've had, I've had sex like twice last year.
Well, you say previously, but it's still in you. Like, isn't the desire still there, or has that faded? Is your libido
Mm,
different now?
no, it's. I think the libido is pretty low.
Oh, okay.
I think usually it ramps up when I meet someone that I'm super pumped about.
Right, right. Okay.
But what about you, John? Top five?
Yeah. So, food. I don't know if that's at the top. I think for me it
Hmm.
would be so it would be physical stuff like flow states, adventure. Machines. Writing things very fast.
Hmm.
That's sex for sure. My libido's my libido. I'm waiting for it to go down. It's not, which is actually kind of frustrating. I have things to do. I want to do in this on this life in this life. So sex. It's never been alcohol, drugs ever. Zero desire there. I'm very strong in that area. And then the doom scrolling for sure, because you and I, we kind of live online. We do a lot of stuff online, and since we're there, there's no way we don't just get caught up in other stuff. So that, and then food.
You said I'm very strong in that area when related to like drugs and alcohol. I wonder if that's how it works, or if it's just that like we have natural tendencies towards abusing certain substances and behaviors over other ones.
I don't know if the word is strong. I have no desire. I think because my dad was an alcoholic. I have when I watch people who can't control their alcohol, it's one of my biggest uh, activations. I have to almost leave the room,
Mm.
and so I don't drink. I may have a drink here and there, but I never get like shit faced, or that's never been a thing for me. And then I've never really been exposed to drugs other than in the last 10 years, just psychedelics. But in high school, college, I and maybe it would be a thing for me if I was exposed to it, but never did anything like weed, acid, cocaine. I've never done any of those drugs.
Here's a question for you.
Hmm.
So I came clean about a behavior that I'm not proud of that I want to change. Do you have one that you are like curious about or want
that
to
I
sort
that I
of
want to change.
modify? Yeah.
Yeah, I do, and I love it when Sean puts me in the corner. Always manages me to
It's not a
put me.
corner,
It's not a
dude.
corner.
It's like I'm not punishing you. I'm being curious
It's not
about
a
your
corner. It's just the other side of the couch.
I'm
You're
trying to
sitting
be
on one side of the couch.
supportive.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Trying to be
Um,
supportive.
I think it would be. I think it would be. I think it would be sex. I think it would be sex because I'm on this journey of wondering how much of my drive and I don't know if the word's obsession, but how much of it is natural life force and me as just a male that is uh, trying to be vibrant is something that I should own and empower and want to explore um, my sexuality. And then I don't know how much of it is actually unhealthy, and I'm hiding behind that it could actually be more in the addiction area. Except I'm kind of painting it, with different colors to convince myself that it's not a problem. I
I
don't
mean,
know.
what is how would you define like a sex addiction?
I think any addiction is behavior that's or consuming something that's unmanageable is the word that comes to mind,
Mm.
right? And so, I mean, although I have a high libido and I express myself sexually, or I like to, I mean, my life, I'm not doing anything, you know, behind anyone's back. I'm not doing anything that's impacting my life in a negative way. It's definitely manageable. It's not unmanageable, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Does it create chaos in your life?
No, it creates pressure with my partner. Um, it doesn't create chaos. It creates fantasies. I have this thing with, and maybe you're like this, and I don't know if it's the addictive gene or running toward obsession. I get obsessed about things. So that could be a cheeseburger, that could be a workout, that could be a motorcycle, or that could be sex. When I start visualizing something, um, I get obsessed about it. It has to happen. Uh, there's something called human design, and
Yeah.
there's different categories.
Yeah.
I'm a I guess what they call a super generator or super
Oh,
manifester.
you're super
That's what I hear. That's what I hear.
manifest or reject. Those are two different things, John.
Oh, are they different?
Yeah.
Okay. I think they said man. What's the difference between a generator and a manifester?
Generators are, I mean, from the little that I know about this, and now we're going really, now we're going deep into like sort of
Woo woo.
neo,
Yeah,
sort of
sure. It's okay.
esoteric.
We just have to come back.
Okay.
Yeah.
From what I can tell is the generators are just they're like the building blocks of life. That's what I am. We're workers. We like put our nose to the grindstone and we just sort of generate, and we keep generating. Manifestors are people who can like make shit happen.
Oh, I think is there? I don't know if there's a category with a little bit of each, but I get obsessive about things, and then I do everything I can to make that happen.
And do you feel relief or pleasure or fulfillment when it finally does happen? You finally do get the thing?
Yes, there's an obsessive chase, and there is. I always joke about me being the kid that not only eats the marshmallow but steals the one from the next.
Oh yeah.
My partner Vanessa is definitely. I will save this marshmallow for two, and she has a lot of discipline. And so when it comes to anything of pleasure, of dopamine, but also like building, also really good stuff like purpose-driven stuff, writing books. I see something, I go after it, I get obsessive, and I haven't lost my life, but I could start to kind of lose self a little bit, be unaware.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's there. It's like I just know that there's a devil on my shoulder at all times. That's kind of my kryptonite, my weakness.
So what was the thing? Sex? You said sex?
I would say
I mean,
now I would say
I'm trying to give up nicotine. What are you doing? Trying to give up sex?
I can't give up sex. I mean, my whole thing is I don't know what is like the line between the line where it's like, okay, this is actually healthy and it's great. There's not a problem, or I don't like if it was an equalizer. I don't know where to.
Well, I mean, maybe for
trouble.
sex, it's like, does this bring connection with my partner, or is this just like purely for me?
Yes, and so the last year, this is very personal stuff, but Vanessa and I have been working on. I've been working a lot on. How do I say this? I've been working a lot on kind of permission and reading the room, and not just trying to do something for me or because I wanted to feel good, So I've been a lot kind of I don't know if standoffish is a word, but kind of taking care of myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, good.
Yeah, that's the journey I'm on. Thanks
for that. I know it sounded like that was a sensitive thing to share.
Yeah, I mean, it's a personal thing. It's whenever you talk about sex, man, it's so ears perk up. There's judgment. It's personal. And then, the fear of what people are going to think of you, shame, it's just it could be all of that comes in.
I have something to share with you, John. That's also a little embarrassing.
Okay, this is not a competition, Shaun. I'm just joking. So, okay, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I'm trying to connect with you.
Okay, sorry.
So a couple weeks ago, I went to see my dad at the cemetery, and it was like it was like very stormy. There was when the atmospheric river was coming through California, and it was just like kind of like a windstorm. So getting kind of dark, very
wow,
yeah, gloomy and spooky. And so I went and paid my respects and spent a little time there, and then I got back in my car, in my truck, and I reversed into a tombstone.
Oh shit. That scene feels like a scene from a 90s horror movie. Final Destination or some shit. Okay. And did the tombstone fall? Like,
No,
what
it
happened?
didn't fall.
Oh,
I may have nicked
wow.
it. May have nicked it. Just the corner. Mrs. Chang.
Oh, okay. Asian person.
Yeah.
All right.
Um,
Well, if your house starts smelling like kimchi or something kind of strange and you don't know why, Mrs. Chang jumped into the back of your truck.
yeah. She left a mark. She left an impact on my bumper.
Oh, man.
I looked
What
around to see if anybody was there.
what do you I mean, this is so strange. I mean, I've never heard of anyone backing into a tombstone. What do you do? What's the responsible? You don't put a note on it. What do you do?
I
You
just looked around and then I left.
Well, if you had knocked the whole thing down, I don't know if you would have. Maybe you would. I mean, fuck,
No, I
maybe.
would have done so. I would have
Yeah,
like
but you
went
just
into the
nicked it.
office or something.
Yeah, you just nicked it.
To be fair, the tombstone is like right on the corner.
Yeah.
Like it, and I don't think I was the first one to do it.
Mm. Oh, poor Mrs. Chang.
No, not poor. I mean, she's being remembered over and over and over again. She's still colliding with people of this world.
That is true. That is true.
Also, like, would you care if that
No,
was your tombstone?
no, I don't give a shit. I don't care about stuff like that. Once I pass, I'm not gonna have that kind of time. I'm gonna be doing better things with my afterlife than caring if someone is tapping my tombstone.
Wait, what are you doing with your afterlife?
I don't know,
What,
but it's gonna be
what
amazing.
happens?
I won't be looking back. I won't be looking back, and I don't think I'll be looking in as far as this planet. I won't be haunting anyone. I will have moved on and expanded in some way. I don't know.
You know how people say like, oh, your father's dead. Like, it's okay. He's always watching. And I'm like, really? All the time?
Yeah,
There's
I
a
don't
lot of
know.
things I don't want my dad to see.
Sure. What
Does
do
he
you
know?
when you go? Do you just talk to your dad like as if he's in the next room, or he's in front of you? You guys are having coffee. How do you or do you sit in silence? What do you do when you're there?
Well, I've only been once since we buried him
Oh,
because
okay,
it's not
yeah,
where I live.
yeah.
And just sat there in silence. But I sometimes I talk to him. I have this like little micro podcast called Voicemails to Dad,
Yeah,
where I
yeah.
leave voicemails to him. So those are much more of me
Very
talking to
sweet.
him about
Yeah.
what's happening and reminiscing on stories and stuff. But I like struggle with just like talking to my dad out loud.
Mm, hmm
Do you talk to your dad out loud?
No, I feel guilty about that. I have not.
Mm.
I've only visited him when my mom was like, "Hey, it's that time of year. Let's go." I'm going. She brings her little scissors and she manicures the grass. And it's only when I'm kind of like I wouldn't say forced, but pulled into that. I have never gone by myself. I have never really wanted to. I don't talk to him much, and I feel guilty about it. It's not. It's I didn't have a bad relationship with my dad. I just I don't know. I feel like I definitely don't feel like I don't feel like I know my parents. Like you're super close to your parents.
Oh,
Um,
I'm close to my dad. I wouldn't
yeah.
say
Oh,
I'm close
okay.
to my mom.
Yeah.
My
You're
mom
super close
doesn't.
to her.
Yeah, yeah.
We didn't
I
have that kind of
was.
relationship.
But why the guilt around not talking to your dead dad?
Because I hear stories like this of other sons visiting tombstones, or like your voicemail to dad, and you guys were
Mm.
close, and like that's I didn't have that. I didn't have that closeness with my dad. He never spent alone time with me. There might be one or two photos that proves that maybe he has, like us fishing or something, but I don't remember any time in my life from childhood to even like high school, college. He never came to any football games. He never taught me how to throw a ball. He was always just working. So I never had any time to like talk to him about his inner journey at all. You know?
I mean, it sounds like he wasn't really making a lot of room for
No,
you.
no. He was old school Korean and just trying to pay bills and survive, and send his kids to college. All that kind of stuff.
But
But
he wasn't making room, but you feel guilty about it. Like you should have tried harder or something.
I feel guilty about it because I think I put him down a lot. I think I I talk a lot about in my whether it's my podcast or social media when it comes to dads, how my dad was an alcoholic and he hijacked emotional space. He was unaware of you know him being miserable, impacting his kids. Like I talk a lot about that, but there were actually some really good, amazing things about him that I never talk about. And so I think I feel guilty that I always harp on him. And then I hear people like you going to visit your deceased parent on your own, and that makes me feel kind of guilty, like I should be doing that.
Yeah, but I ran over a tombstone.
That's all right.
Yeah,
Wasn't your dad?
it wasn't my dad. No, he's further in. You can't get to his without running over a bunch of tombstones. Well, is this an opportunity for you to tell something that was like really lovely about your dad?
So last night, Shaun attended my men's group. I have every other week in my house in my garage.
Whoa,
And,
dude! Rule number
shit.
one. Rule number
shit.
one.
Oh shit! Sorry, man.
You told me there was one rule.
Oh my god! Oh, dude, I'm getting fucking old. It's okay, man. It's okay.
They can know that we sat in the garage together.
We said Shaun and I sat in the garage together, and we ended by which I thought was very sweet. We ended by saying sorry to people or yourself, or examples of why. And I almost said I wanted to say sorry to my dad for not celebrating the stuff about him that I thought was amazing. My dad came to America with no money, and he would take risks, crazy risks, not like dumb risks, but risks where it's like we make money, we reinvest. He taught me not to be afraid to build something. There was he also did some things that didn't pay off, obviously. The movie theaters back in the day, you could actually pay, it's very expensive, to advertise like a photo of your family business before the movie starts.
Sure.
Like at AMC.
Yeah.
So we did that, and it was extremely expensive. It was like $10,000 a month, and this is back in the day where $10,000 a month is, still like a lot of money, but it was
like 50 grand.
It was everything. It was, and we got like two people from that whole thing. But stuff like that where, maybe not so smart, but he did it. And then also when he wasn't miserable, he was charismatic and funny, and he was inappropriate but not offensive, in a way that I actually today admire, instead of seeing it as childish or irresponsible.
It's nice to hear about him, it kind of fills out the picture a little bit.
Yeah, thanks.
Not just the alcoholic liquor store owner.
I've definitely turned him into a cardboard cutout and the bad guy. So
yeah, sounds like a fun guy who was able to take risk and made some business moves, and Doc had his photo at the movie theaters. Like, that's cool.
also had his demons, and all of that, of course. Like
my dad was a pretty risky. He also came to this country with $200 in his pocket or something. Classic story. You know
what? These stories that we have about our parents, I think they're not going to. I mean, maybe some, but generally, as the next generation comes in, there aren't going to be a lot of stories of people coming to America with $200. Like that story, I think is that's going to be gone, man.
Yeah, you might be right.
Yeah,
that might be harder to pull off.
Oh yeah. Those kind of stories, I think, are they're becoming kind of like a campfire. Back in the day kind of stories, and they're going to start fading, and it's going to be stories like, yeah, my dad was an influencer. He played with his phone for a living.
Yeah, he was addicted to social media, but he also,
he only had 2 revenue streams. Man, it must have been so hard for him.
Apparently, I was looking at like what different generations, how much different generations feel is like enough money, or like middle class money.
Yeah.
And Gen Z feel that, like, I think $500,000 is what
Oh my god, dude.
Is what it takes to be in the middle class.
What do you think about that? Do you agree? Do you think that's entitlement? Do you think that's narcissist? What do you think that is?
Oh, no, I think Well, I
or
think that's a
inflation.
lot of money,
Yeah.
but I also think that things are more expensive now.
Yeah, but 500 grand a year is you're saying
Life
that's
is not
ridiculous.
that expensive.
No,
Life
it's
is
not
not
that
that
expensive.
expensive.
No.
I think they also probably maybe just don't know like what things cost, and they think they need $500,000
Listen,
to be happy.
this Gen Z generation is growing up with everything on demand. They're growing up with groceries delivered. They're also growing up with, if I like you, I don't have to make any effort. I'll hide behind my phone. I'll send you a message. They're just growing up, I think, in a way where there isn't a lot of earning. I grew up having to mow lawns for $5. I grew up having to walk up to a girl terrified and ask for her phone number. I grew up, with jobs, fast food jobs, and serving. So I think when you grow up in a world where that's not the norm, man, saying that $500,000 a year is kind of what I need to survive, or what I need to just kind of, that's to me that's a direct result from I think upbringing and culture.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're generalizing a little bit for sure, right?
Mhm.
Like not all Gen
Yeah,
Z.
yeah, of course. I'm doing definitely a generalization and a broad stroke for sure.
But I think if you're used to ordering your groceries and door dashing every order, like, yeah, you're going to need a lot of money. Like DoorDash is expensive. It like doubles the price of the order.
Oh, I see. You're saying it's not their fault that's the culture they grew up in. That's what they're used to. I see what you're saying. So it just costs more. Okay.
I've never door dashed a thing in my life. Actually, that's not true. I door dashed to somebody's house because they just had a baby. I ordered a DoorDash order for them. But otherwise, like I'm going to get it.
Well, that's because of your generation. That's what you're used to. That's what you do.
It's the price of entry to get takeout. I got to go get it. It's like I'm taking my dog for a walk, or we're going for a little drive. We're going to the store to pick up the food. Also, I don't like someone's got my food. I don't like that.
I also feel bad when someone pulls up and their delivery is like some chicken nuggets. I'm like, this guy drove all the way to my house for to drop off a soda and some chicken nuggets. I just feel like, fuck, if someone's going to deliver something, it doesn't have to be a refrigerator, but God, at least some groceries. But if someone just delivers one meal and it's like a fast food, like the delivery cost and the gas costs more than what the person's delivering, that's like embarrassing.
That's where
we're at with DoorDash.
For you.
Dude, Gen Z, they probably like, I want a Snickers bar. I want a candy bar. I want to get it delivered.
Yeah, but
like
it's embarrassing for you, right? To have to order Chicky McNuggies sent to your house.
Well, it's embarrassing because I feel so bad for the driver, and it feels like it's not the whole thing. The whole deal's not worth me getting an order of chicken nuggets delivered to my house. It feels
if you tipped them appropriately, then it's fine. But if you didn't, then it is. The whole thing is embarrassing.
The whole thing is
and that's why you need $500,000 so you can tip them well.
I don't know, man. I don't know what this life is going to look like 15 years from now. 15 years, it's going to be very different. I'm telling you.
I mean, that's why I'm not having kids.
Yeah, and that's fair. That's fair. But I already feel like social media is starting to feel like the pager. I already feel like there is technology that is. It just things are moving so fast that, and social media hasn't even been invented. It hasn't been around that long, but it's already starting to feel crusty and old with so much new shit coming out. It's crazy.
Yeah. Also, it's hard. Also, as I was just talking to my nephew recently, and I think he's a little out of touch with like what $1 million is.
Yeah.
Like he was just talking about like, oh, that house is only like $1 million. I was like, you have no idea how much $1 million is, you know? Yeah. But like $1 million to him was like kind of cheap.
Well, because if you scroll houses, especially in places like Los Angeles, there is no house that costs less than $1 million. So that's where he's getting it, you know?
Yeah.
It's like he's being programmed by what's happening in our world.
Yeah. Should we take a question?
Yes, let's take a question.
Let's get off this. We got to get out of here, dude.
My arm hurts.
Okay.
Thanks for asking
Shaun and John, this is...
Wait. What did you say?
I just wanted to thank the listener for asking questions.
Right. Oh, hey,
Yes.
listener. John has a message for you.
Thank you for asking questions. They are the
Yes,
proteins of this meal.
you're the proteins of this meal. And it's
Yeah.
true, yes, especially when we start getting lost. We'll take all questions, comments, reviews. What else are we taking? Criticisms.
Grubhub orders,
Grubhub.
free Grub things delivered to our house. Fast food.
Chicky
Nuggets.
nuggies. 657-549-1001. All right. Let's do it.
Hey, Shaun and John. This is Jess. I'm 39 years old in New Orleans, Louisiana. I have been single for 6 months now, being single on purpose after a 1.5-year relationship. And when I think about dating again, I have, past experiences of meeting a guy, and they're lovely. They have a lot of things in common with me, great characteristics, and conversation goes nicely. I find them attractive, and I just don't feel a lot. It's kind of like, I kind of feel like a shrug about it. I wonder, how do I know if that is just disinterest, or if that's me putting up walls, or if maybe it's about being too picky and unrealistic? Thanks. Have a great week.
I can relate. I
You can relate? Yeah.
Yeah, I can relate.
I can see that.
I can relate. I think I every relationship that I've had has started with sparks. Has started with like pretty like clear desire on both of our sides, some chemistry, where it kind of feels easy to make the decision to go ahead with a relationship. And then I've been on a whole bunch of dates where it's just like, yeah, this is nice. You're a perfectly nice person. Can we build a relationship together? Maybe, I don't know. But the deep desire is not there.
I have a kind of a simple answer to this complicated question, but if we could put a bookmark here real quick, I have something that I wanted to ask you that falls under the umbrella of this, but that is wider and can be very interesting. What kind of women do you find attracted to you? Is there a pattern? So not like, I'm not talking about like, aesthetics. I'm talking about wiring. Because I don't know about anymore, but a lot of times early on when I was single, there's a certain type of woman that was very attracted to me. And I'm asking you this for a reason.
So what type of woman is attracted to me? Or what type of woman am I attracted to?
No, not you. What kind of women gravitate and are attracted to you?
Single moms that live in Des Moines, Iowa.
Well, yeah, no, that's too surfacey. Okay, so let me give you an example. Early on, 20s and 30s, who the type of women that I found were attracted to me were women who had something taken from them growing up. So whether it was their voice, their virginity, women who had to grow up fast. There was something in that kind of story that was the girl that just was gravitated toward me. And I'm saying this because I was also extremely attracted to that type of person. I was not attracted to like a healthy, someone who has like healed wounds and done work. I was attracted to women who had a lot of trauma. And that collision was fucking fiery. Do you know what I'm saying? That talk about a spark. That wasn't a sparkler. That was an M80.
Yeah.
Or something that lights up the sky.
A Roman candle.
Yes. And before I became a therapist and started learning about, trauma bonds and all that, I thought the chemistry and the dopamine was so significant that
intoxicating.
I thought I was in love. I thought I was in love every time. And I don't know, because I think as you change, who you attract changes. So for you, would that be the case or no? You had different type of women.
Yeah, well, no, I don't know if it's the same type of person, but that's usually my barometer for whether I should be in a relationship with them. And if I look at it in hindsight, well, they weren't a good fit, obviously, because we're not together anymore. Not to say that just because a relationship ends doesn't mean that it was necessarily not a good fit, but I think I need to reevaluate. You were
attracted to that type of person?
What type of person?
Been through a lot, trauma.
No, I don't think so.
Mm.
Usually like good girls with unavailable fathers.
Oh, I could see that.
I think like I
Yeah.
was trying to think of like what's a common denominator for some of the people that I've dated.
Yeah. I could see that as
Good
well.
girls with unavailable dads.
I definitely think you have dad energy in you.
Yeah.
You do a lot less than me. I have crazy uncle energy. You have dad energy.
Zaddy.
Yeah, you have that stuff going on, and so I think a lot of women are attracted to, especially now that you're not in your 20s. You have a kind of a safe, vulnerable, something that they didn't have maybe growing up, but really wanted. That kind of you don't have like a bad boy. You have like this person could hurt me, but we'll talk about it. That kind of thing.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to change that. I'm trying to get more bad boy.
Well, then you're going to attract what I used to attract.
Oh,
Because
that's
they go after the bad boy.
Bad dad. I want to be a bad dad.
Oh, you want to be a bad dad? You want to be somewhere in the middle.
Who doesn't call his kids for their birthday?
No. He just doesn't call his kids often, but he is there. So you want to be somewhere in the middle where it's like you're good dad, but then you can also be, a little bad.
It's so complicated.
Yeah. Anyway,
I just want to meet a nice girl who's
Yes.
who's into me that I'm into her, and then we like fight a little bit and we work through conflict together, and we go to Trader Joe's together.
My answer to this question is play it out. Play it out because it will play out. What I mean by that is, I think you're overthinking. I think the thing when people are dating, they start, is this good? What am I supposed to feel? But it's not like the last time. But this person likes this color. Like there's such an evaluation process. If you play it out, you spend enough time with this person, you're either going to be drawn toward or you're going to be kind of repelled. And that's what's going to happen. So I don't think you could know by figuring it out. I think you will know by experiencing it, by actually just playing it out.
Yeah. Okay. I like that.
Yeah.
I think that's solid. Just keep seeing them until you don't want to see them anymore.
Yeah.
That's like kind of the.
Does that sound boring and painful?
No. That's kind of the thing. Like dating is like seeing someone until you realize whether you want to see them more or not at all.
And it could get confusing, but I've also met people, also clients who met. There wasn't that much of a spark. They've had bigger sparks with other collisions, and they stuck with it. They start to explore, and then on the other side of that, they really fell in love. They really, after taking in the 360 of the person, not just a cardboard cutout, the attraction grew and it was more like solid. So that can happen as well, because I think a lot of people, if it's not fireworks in the beginning, like maybe it's maybe I'm not attracted to this person.
I mean, I think about that all the time.
Yeah.
Because I think I am also superficially attracted to a lot of people.
Oh, like, who's not in our culture not superficially attracted to a lot of people? I mean,
I don't know. I think some people are really picky.
Yeah, but if you are at a coffee shop and you see an attractive person, male, female, doesn't matter, you will note it because our society puts them on stage and promotes it, and we find beauty in that.
Yeah. Sometimes I meet someone and I go, maybe I could have a relationship with this person. Maybe that's my toxic trait, is I think I could have relationships with a lot of people, but I don't have them with any people. I
would think that you're afraid to go all in because there could be something better, or the thinking, possibly sometimes overthinking, or they have this but they don't have that. Oh, but the other one has this and like that, and then you're just confusing yourself.
Yeah, let's take another question.
Are you avoiding? I think Shaun about right now is going to pop in the nicotine, and so I'm going to have to stop him.
I don't have any.
Oh, perfect.
I don't have any. I was kidding, John. I was kidding. You were getting a little too close to home.
I know you were kidding. I get it.
You might be right. Which is also a thing that I used to say to my dad when he would tell me something that I didn't think he was right, but he always like had to be right about everything.
Mm.
And so I just started saying like, you may be right. And he was like, yep, definitely. And then after a while, he's like, wait a second, you don't think I'm right? And I was like, nope, not at all. For like a year, I was able to say, you might be right. And he like he thought that I was agreeing with him.
Well, it's the may. It's the you may be right, which is, and you know what I say to if you were to say me, you may be right. You know what I say?
Maybe.
I could also be. I may also be wrong.
Yeah, but
I may be
most
wrong.
dads aren't going to say that.
Yeah.
Most dads aren't going to admit that they might be wrong.
Yeah, of course.
It's their way or the highway. So I agree. Maybe I'm scared of going all in, John.
I think a little bit of that and a little bit of indecisiveness, just because.
Over analyzing,
yeah,
trying to optimize.
not just with dating. I think with any, like buying a pair of jeans, anything. I think it's just a behavior pattern.
Hey, give me some credit for finding this apartment and just saying, "Fuck it, let's go."
That's true. You didn't look at 20 apartments and open up every fucking cabinet and analyze.
Nope.
You looked at like 2 or 3.
2.
Oh, 2. Wow, this is turning a new
and I
leaf.
unsubscribed to all the things that I was subscribed to. Like it's done.
Wow.
This is good enough.
I love it. That's actually a big deal because we're not talking about a pair of jeans. We're talking about living in this space.
It's
we're
also
nice.
signing a lease. It's a nice place.
Yeah, it's really it's the sun comes in. It's beautiful. I like it.
But when I go for a walk, I have to walk over like a street couch. That someone just like on the, left on the sidewalk.
The Kevlar jacket, the vest.
Kevlar.
Sorry. Yeah, Kevlar. Sorry.
Kevlar.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. Do you want a question about being a good therapist or being more in your feminine?
Oh, I don't know. Let's flip a coin.
I don't have a coin.
I mean, just like, imagine it and then just no one's going to know. Okay, just play whatever.
I'm gonna flip a coin.
Oh, he's digging in his pants.
Okay. Heads is being a good therapist.
Okay.
Tails is okay, it's tails.
All right.
Hi, John and Shaun. This is Leslie. I am 48 years old. I'm calling from New York. I have a question about masculine and feminine polarity. I feel I have been functioning, and I say that surrounded by sarcastic air quotes, in my masculine for a really long time and for a multitude of reasons. So I was wondering if you guys have any tips or ideas as far as me getting more into my feminine. And I see the irony of me asking 2 men about this. So perhaps you could consult with Vanessa and Danae. I hope you're having a great day. Thanks.
We're not going to consult with Vanessa and Danae.
She should. They actually know a lot about this stuff.
Yeah, she should reach out to them.
Yeah. I want to point out, and I'm not an expert at this, but when it comes to masculine and feminine energy, feminine energy isn't because it's not gender tied, right? So creativity. There's other things that I don't think about often that falls under the umbrella of masculine energy and feminine energy, right? And so it's not like masculine energy is just dominant and feminine energy is submissive. It's not like that.
Okay.
I don't know what the things are. I wish there are tables and you could do the research, but when it comes to feminine energy, I know creativity is one of them, but there are other things that I found fascinating. And I think can make this more clear instead of a lot of people thinking, oh, this is masculine, this is feminine,
Yeah, I mean, when I think of, okay, I have to be honest here. I feel like the feminine masculine polarity is like repackaged patriarchy. Like it's repackaged traditional roles that like keep women in one camp and men in another camp, and like, but a lot of people are using this stuff to like make life decisions and to like access different parts of their being, which I can't be against, right? But they're also using it to like make decisions about who they're dating and how they show up in relationships. And to me, it just never made sense. I don't understand it.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. And so I really have a hard time like advising.
Right.
Oh, if you want to be more in your feminine, then you need to like lean back and like learn to receive. And like, I think we should all learn to receive. And I think we should all learn how to ask for what we need sometimes.
Right.
Is that being more in my masculine or more in my feminine, or is it just like acting differently based on a desired outcome?
Well, okay, so here's where I could kind of relate. If you take someone who grew up very fast and had to become an adult, and their mind was set on survival mode, so they learned to pay bills, to take care of people. That energy as an adult, and they're building empires, and that can be a very kind of masculine energy. And so that in a relationship, if that is that's the only gear they have, then there isn't a leaning in, a softness, like someone who struggles with losing control, whether it's ordering dinner or, the way the house is or something, there's going to be friction if there isn't a cadence and a dance with both masculine and feminine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but who said that that's masculine?
Right,
Like
you're
getting
talking
shit
about
done
you're
is
talking
masculine.
about you're talking about but this is why I was saying we got to look up and go to there's charts out there that pull us away from, like you said, the patriarchal structure of this is masculine, this is feminine, because we're talking about energy, so it's different than say
Men and women.
Well, not only men and women, but say like the labor roles or other things, right? That we have decided that we have like stamped in our society. So the other stuff that's a little more abstract, that I gravitate toward, because that I feel more like I understand. Give Shaun and I a week to do some homework, and maybe we'll come back.
What's the chart, anyways? Like how do I pull it up?
Masculine and feminine. It's not just energy. So like the wounded masculine, the wounded feminine, and more of the healed masculine and healed feminine. So it's not just masculine and feminine, it's a wounded masculine that shows up, or a wounded feminine, and then the action and behavior from that. It's really interesting. So it's more three-dimensional than just like masculine and feminine energy.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry,
guys.
You'll see the chart.
Sorry, people.
God, I wish it landed on heads.
I wish I'd flipped on heads too. Yeah. We could do heads. We got time.
All right, we'll do heads.
Okay. This one's for you, actually. They told me to butt out. So
that's not cool.
Yeah, it's okay.
Hi, this is Kristen. I'm 55. I guess this question is mostly for John. I recently went back to graduate school to become a marriage and family therapist. I'm a year into the program, and I wondered if you had any advice or tips about what makes a good therapist in today's day and age. I also wondered what percentage of his clients he might see virtually versus in person, and what population he specializes in. Thanks so much. Love your all show. Bye-bye.
Yeah, my advice is don't do it. No, just kidding. I'm kind of half kidding, because I have always believed that the system is broken. So when you get fired up about helping someone else and you become a therapist, a lot of therapists find this passion from their own therapy. They go to school. School's exciting. You get your master's, and then the board doesn't tell you, or does tell you, there's 3,000 hours you have to get, and then there's a different type of hours. So you have to have parent hours, kid hours, not parent hours. You have to have couples hours, kid hours, individual hours, group. Like it's a lot. It's a lot. And then there's exams, and it's just a lot of stuff that I just think there's a lot of cracks in the whole system, because by the time you're done, you're like, I don't even know if I want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
And then they don't teach you how to build a practice. They don't teach you how to they don't teach you anything. And so you're kind of left with like, what do I do now? And then you could get on insurance panels, but that's really tough, and the money's bad. Then you got to fight for money after your session. Or you could build an audience like I did, but all of it takes time, and it's not as simple as, oh, I'm going to just go be a therapist, and then I'll have an office. I'll do what he's doing, I don't know if I answered the question.
No, I don't think you did, but it's okay. What you're saying is that it's hard. I think most people know that becoming a therapist is hard, and it's a long road, and it requires a shit ton of hours.
Yes.
I will say this. I'm not a therapist, but my friend just became one, and she said that her practice changed when she let herself be affected by her clients. emotionally, right? And to not be so impartial.
Yeah.
She's like, because if I'm being affected by my client in this particular way, that also means that other people might be affected that way as well, right? So it's like a way of getting closer to her
You know
clients.
what's been really awesome for me to watch and observe is when I started this, social media wasn't invented, and so a therapist had a lot of shoulds. So they weren't supposed to do a lot of things that I was doing. You're supposed to have an office. You're supposed to be very nondescript. You're not talking about your personal life. And for valid reasons, I understand why. But because of social media and coaching, there's been this kind of like hybrid where you could have a clinical background, but I don't think I show up as a therapist. I like the word catalyst. I feel like I show up more as a coach. And so now you could kind of like move the needle, like however you want to show up. Shaun, let me ask you this. What do you think makes a good therapist?
The ability to connect emotionally with your client.
So I think chemistry matters, and it's going to be the relationship with your therapist that's probably more powerful than the content that is talked about. Do you know what I'm saying? So the corrective experience can actually be your relationship with your therapist. Not that you guys should be friends and hang out, but that in that safe space, that to me is so much more powerful and healing than just talking about, the trauma or what you're struggling with. Yeah. So you got to pick a therapist that you connect with and trust and respect and really enjoy. And that's hard to find. They say if you find a really good therapist, to never let that therapist go. Shaun's a good example because you're a therapist. Haven't you been seeing your same therapist for like decades?
No, 5 years, but I'm going to propose to her. Yeah, just so.
So here we go.
So that we're together forever.
See? And this is not based on what she knows. It's probably based on the space she holds and how she shows up and your connection, right?
It's absolutely the space she holds. And the safety that I feel in our relationship.
Right. And that is powerful and corrective and healing, not just, pulling out the DSM and talking about disorders and Hey, Shaun, let me put you in the corner a little bit, or back you in the corner.
You could try.
Backing you in the corner is very different than putting you in the corner. You're not in trouble.
It depends do you want me to facing the corner and you're kind of pushing me into it?
Yeah, that's not what I want to do. I want to back you in the corner.
Perv.
I want to pack you in the corner. I'm a little kinky. I want to back you in the corner like sometimes you do me, where I'm like, oh, fuck, he just asked me a question that is very kind of hard for me to answer, but I got to do it.
Well, that when I do that, it's all out of love and curiosity, and we can do better. It's not trying to trap you or anything.
If I didn't, I would talk to you about it off the air. I'd be like, hey, I don't like when you do that.
Oh, you could just do it on the air.
He just backed me in the corner again.
Again,
you just did it right now by saying you should be able to talk about this.
See how good I am at turning things around? Now we're talking about you.
Okay, listen.
Yeah.
Have you ever had fantasies or had crush on your therapist?
Hopefully
he listens to this.
Well, I don't know. I don't think she listens to this. She doesn't.
I'm gonna send it to her. I don't know who she is, but I'll send it to her.
Not really.
None?
No.
Come on.
No.
Shaun.
I mean, I'm like curious what she looks like naked. But
is that not a fantasy? What is that then? That is a
curiosity.
Fantasy.
Yeah, it's just a curiosity.
No, Shaun. If you're curious about what someone looks like naked, you just want to just to look at her naked.
See. I just want to see.
Okay.
I am actually curious what a lot of people look like naked. So it doesn't mean I want to sleep with them. I'm just curious.
It's a common fantasy. And
to want to sleep with your therapist,
to have feelings for, to be attracted to. And listen, your therapist doesn't even have to be your type or attractive per se, but it's the emotional connection that grows, and then suddenly there's attraction in the room. That happens a lot.
Yeah.
No,
I don't know.
Okay.
One time she was like, "I'd like to talk about our relationship next session," and then for the whole week I was like, "Dude, she wants to fuck me."
This is fucking Shaun. I can't back him in a corner. You know why? Because he's so honest. There is no corner. Shaun lives in a round room. Yeah, there's no corners. Because I think I'm making him uncomfortable, and then he one-ups me and says this kind of shit.
I literally thought she was... I went home and I Googled, what does it mean when your therapist says,
Right.
we should talk about our relationship.
I could see how that could. Yeah, I could be like, oh, that means that she's been thinking about me.
100%
yeah.
thought that she was like into me and was going to like propose some indecent thing. And it wasn't that. It was just that she said that she found herself disclosing things to me in a way that she hadn't with other clients, and she wanted to talk about that because she had the impression that that is how other people interacted with me as well.
That's also, to me, kind of a subtle way of saying. It's almost like a textbook way of saying that she has developed maybe some feelings for you that she wants to explore. No?
I think she's like whatever it's called when you're like using the thing in therapy. You're like naming the dynamic.
Yes.
And then working with the dynamic. I don't think it had anything to do with feelings. I think she just felt safe. She feels safe with me and wants to connect with me in a way that she doesn't with other people. It doesn't mean that she's like wants to fuck me.
Sure, but what does that mean? That's just kind of a roundabout saying that I notice I might be having feelings for you, so let's talk about this. It's the responsible thing to do. I'm not going to say I have a crush on you. That's kind of a little too aggressive, but so what you do is you put yourself as an observer. Here's what I'm noticing. I'm starting to notice that I'm disclosing some information that I wouldn't normally choose to other clients, but for some reason I'm doing it with you. I wonder what's there, and let's talk about this. That's kind of the safe way to do it. But if she's talking to her girlfriends over mimosa, she's like, yeah, I think I want to fuck my client, Shaun.
I mean, I hope that I think maybe one of my toxic traits is that I think that I'm her most interesting client.
By toxic trait, are you saying there's a hint of narcissism there with the ego? What do you say? Okay, got it.
But I think it's also pretty normal for someone to want their therapist to like them or like.
But here's the thing: what makes you interesting?
What do you mean?
What makes you interesting as opposed to other clients? What is it about you that makes you interesting?
I'm just a tortured little boy, you know. I'm a beautiful boy.
I think what makes you interesting is that you're honest, and I think that's what makes her interested.
Oh yeah, okay. Yes. I think I'm very vulnerable. I remember I walked in and I was like, I don't want to be here, and she was like, oh, that's interesting. And I go, what do you mean interesting? Doesn't everybody say this? She was like, no, most people do not say that they don't want to be here. Some people feel it, but they don't feel safe enough to say that.
The way that humans connect, Shaun, is through vulnerability. So. And also, you're not like an ugly guy. So I think the combination of you being vulnerable, talking about your stuff and being real, and then you guys having some chemistry, some banter, making some... I could see you also because, you make jokes.
It's super funny.
Yeah, so that's huge. Dude,
we laugh a lot.
Oh my God, humor is like super glue, right? Yeah. So all of that happening, she's realizing, oh my God, I'm getting caught up in this. I'm telling him things I don't usually tell other people. I wonder what's happening, which is to me is a subtle way of saying I think I have a mild crush on you. I'm not going to do anything about it, but let's talk about it because that's the responsible thing to do, which it is.
Well, I'm talking to her tomorrow, so
perfect. Ask her.
Ask her if she has a crush on me.
Yeah. We were talking about you on my podcast, and you can listen to it if you want. I don't have a crush on you, which I announced. But I wonder if you have a crush on me.
Well,
do you
now
think that's arrogant?
Maybe I do. Now maybe I do have a crush on her.
I have, and also clients have had crushes on me. It's a normal thing, man. And so what you're supposed to do is actually kind of bring it into the room. Talk about it.
You bring it to the room.
Yeah, into the room.
Yeah. Well, John, I have something to tell you.
Yes.
I have a crush on you.
You're not my client. So.
What? Oh, I can't bring it into the room?
No. You're not my client. Doesn't matter. I don't care.
Okay.
Well,
that's it.
That's it.
Leave us a question, comment, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts.
Yes. And if you live in Los Angeles, there's a high chance you'll run into Shaun.
Someone looked at me real weird at the Trader Joe's in Silver Lake today.
That's going to happen a lot. I
like
think
double
in big
take,
cities.
And then she like shook her head like, no, it can't be. Or like, fuck that guy. I don't know what she was doing, but anyways.
Yeah, you're going to start getting, approached and, hey, I follow you, that kind of stuff. It just happens in big cities.
I'm going to do what you do. I'm going to get back on my motorcycle and just ride off.
Yeah, just
without
put your
saying
helmet
anything.
On. You're going to wear your helmet into the grocery store, kind of like Keanu Reeves, just fucking leave the visor down.
I've done that before. It's way less cool with a bike helmet.
It is, yeah. It is way less cool because then you have the biker shorts, and then your head looks huge because you're wearing like you're naked. You look like an alien.
You know, people ride bikes without wearing spandex, right? Like just like shorts and t-shirts and stuff.
But if you're wearing a jacket and jeans, then the helmet, because it's so big, it looks more proportional than if you're wearing shorts and a tank top and a fucking helmet.
John's cooler than I am.
What he's referring to is because I'm so weird socially, if someone approaches me early on, I would just get on my motorcycle and take off. It was so uncomfortable. I didn't know what to do.
Too awkward for John.
Yeah, not anymore. Not anymore. Now it's chest bumps. It's eye contact.
Yeah, you say, hey, how's it going? How's your day? What's your name?
Yeah. Sean's much better, but I'm learning to do that more.
I already met some people on the little strip that I live. Actually, a follower told me to go say hi to one of her friends who owns a ceramic studio nearby.
Oh, and you did, of course.
I popped in yesterday, and they were painting. They were painting like mugs, and I was like, I got some time to kill. Can I help? And so I sat there for an hour with her and her friend, and we painted mugs, and it was amazing. It was so fun. I was like, I love LA.
I don't feel sorry for you one bit because you have that thing that most people don't, which is you can make friends anywhere, and many people that is a struggle for them, including myself. So,
but feel sorry for me.
Welcome and fuck you.
Feel sorry for me that I have a hard time attaching to people in romantic relationships.
Oh, that is true. So the beginning of all your relationships really easy and great. It's the other half. Yeah. So for me, it's flipped.
Yeah. Fuck you, John. Welcome and fuck you. All right, everybody. Have a beautiful week.
Thank you for listening. Be well.